of alcohols. Now we are into preparation methods of phenols. Okay. Now one method already we know in haloalkanes, haloarenes we have studied. Okay, that is, I also said you that it is also called Dow's process. Chlorobenzene reacts with NaOH 623 kelvins 300 atmosphere pressure, right? So the same reaction first I am writing here. That is preparation of phenol from haloarenes. Let us take haloarene. Example I am taking chlorobenzene. Chlorobenzene on reaction with sodium hydroxide at 623 kelvins of temperature and 300 atmosphere pressure. This reaction already we have written. So what do you get here? You will get first you will get sodium phenoxide. Okay, first you will get sodium phenoxide. Sodium phenoxide on reaction with acid. There we have written first NaOH, second H plus. The same thing we are splitting into two steps. Chlorobenzene first reaction with sodium hydroxide, it will form sodium phenoxide. Sodium phenoxide on reaction with in acidic medium or on reaction with HCl. What you will get? You will get phenol. Okay, you will get a phenol. So this phenol, this method of preparation is also called Dow's process. Industrially it is used for synthesis of phenol from haloarenes. Okay, this is one method of preparation. Second method, we'll see preparation of phenols from benzene sulfonic acid. From benzene sulfonic acid also you can synthesize phenols. Okay. First let us see how do you get benzene sulfonic acid. First step I am writing here. When benzene reacts with, in the first year we have studied this, when benzene reacts with oleum or pyrosulfuric acid or H2S2O7 and these all you have studied, fuming sulfuric acid, sulfonation of benzene, right? It produces benzene sulfonic acid. This benzene sulfonic acid on treating with sodium hydroxide followed by acidic medium hydrolysis produces phenol. Okay, produces phenol. This is one method of preparation. Okay, what is happening? First benzene we are taking. We are doing sulfonation, oleum if you take, or fuming sulfuric acid. You will get benzene sulfonic acid. From benzene sulfonic acid, how do you get phenol? Simply by treating with base followed by acid hydrolysis. Same like this one, base acid hydrolysis. Okay. Next, third method of preparation. You can prepare phenol from aniline. Now what is aniline? You know, benzene ring with NH2. NH2 is called aniline. Aniline on reaction with sodium nitrite mixture with HCl. Okay? This reaction, basically this is at 273 to 278 kelvins of temperature, or sometimes it is written 0 to 5 degrees, however it is in degrees, you can say that in kelvins also. So this mixture NaNO2HCl already once we have seen in preparation methods of haloarenes, right? So what is happening? Aniline on reaction with a mixture of sodium nitrate with HCl. This reaction also I said it as diazotization. So aniline on reacts with the NaNO2HCl mixture. What do you get? You will get diazonium chloride, right? Benzene diazonium chloride. If you remember, like this I have written in the previous haloarenes chapter. So what is the name? It is benzene. It is benzene diazonium chloride. Okay. Now benzene diazonium chloride, simple hydrolysis with warm water also. Okay, warm water, H2O, simple hydrolysis. It produces phenol. It produces phenol with liberation of nitrogen gas and some HCl as a byproduct. Okay. So from aniline, how do you get phenol? Aniline on reaction with the diazotization mixture. What is that mixture? Sodium nitrite with HCl at 0 to 5 degrees. What do you get first? Benzene diazonium chloride. Benzene diazonium chloride on reaction with warm water produces phenol with liberation of nitrogen gas and byproduct HCl. This same reaction we have seen in the preparation methods of haloarenes. If you remember Sandmeyer reaction, right? There we have seen NaNO2HCl followed by Cu2Cl2 for preparation of chlorobenzene. Okay, same like that. The first half is same, that is reaction with aniline reaction with the NaNO2HCl. You will get a diazonium chloride. Diazonium chloride on hydrolysis produces alcohol, that is phenol it will produces. Okay, these are three methods of preparation of phenol. Next method of preparation of phenol is from cumene. Now cumene, I am writing the structure first. Benzene ring with isopropyl group. See, I have written CH3 CH3 isopropyl, right? So this is like CH3 C CH3 CH. This group is what? Isopropyl group, right? So isopropyl group attached to the benzene. So that is cumene. So the another name of cumene is isopropyl benzene. Okay, na? Cumene another name is what? Isopropyl benzene. So when this cumene is undergoing oxidation, basically cumene is when you expose it to the air or oxygen, it will undergo oxidation. Okay, it can undergo oxidation automatically in the presence of air and produces, it will produces humene, produces humene hydroperoxide. Okay, what is happening? Humene undergoing oxidation in air or oxygen, and it is producing humene hydroperoxide. This humene hydroperoxide, okay, will undergo hydrolysis in slightly acidic medium, and you will get a mixture of phenol with acetone. Okay, so this part, this OH attaches to the benzene ring, this C3 carbons with oxygen will be eliminated. So that is, you get here phenol with acetone, okay. So cumene, first it will undergo oxidation in the presence of air, it produces cumene hydroperoxide, which in slightly acidic medium undergo hydrolysis to form phenol and acetone. And this method is used for preparation of phenol, okay, widely this method is used in industries along with Dow's process. Okay, Dow's process is also commercially used, and this is also one of the commercially used method for production of phenol. And this method also have advantage of because here you get phenol along with one of the commercially important solvent or another commercially important compound also you are getting here. So worldwide this method is used for preparation of phenol, because along with phenol you are going to get another important industrial compound, that is acetone. So these two methods, this method is also an important method for preparation of phenol. Okay. So with this we have completed preparation methods for phenols and alcohols. Next we will enter into the properties. Okay, properties of alcohols and phenols. In that, let us see first physical properties. Physical properties. In physical properties, basically you talk about what melting, boiling, and this one, like solubilities and all, right? So let us see physical properties of alcohols. Basically, as the number of carbon atoms increases, the boiling point of alcohols, increases. Boiling point of alcohols increases due to increase in van der Waals force of attraction. Due to increase in van der Waals force of attraction. Okay, van der Waals forces. Okay. So if you see, as the molar mass increases or number of carbon atoms increases for the alcohols, due to increase in the van der Waals force of attraction, boiling points increases, and boiling points of alcohols decreases with the increase in branching, Now with increase in branching, meaning is if you take isomeric alcohols, okay, like I will write here isomeric alcohols of, let us take butanol. Okay, this is a n-butyl alcohol. Okay, let us take next one. This is what? Okay, secondary butyl. That's isobutyl alcohol. Let us take next one. Tertiary butyl alcohol. Okay, tertiary butyl alcohol. So if you see in this here n-butyl alcohol, more van der Waals attraction can happen between the carbon atoms, adjacent carbon atoms, along with hydrogen bonding. Okay, so boiling point of n-butyl alcohol is greater, okay, than tertiary. Okay, so as the branching increases, boiling point decreases due to decrease in van der Waals attraction. And also it is found that boiling point of alcohols of similar masses, okay, of nearly same masses, will be greater than that of their respective other hydrocarbons, like, okay, alkanes, haloalkanes, and also ethers, etc. Because the boiling point of of similar masses, here we are comparing boiling point of alcohols which are having similar mass with any alkane. Okay, like for example, let us take ethyl alcohol, CH2OH, compared with the boiling point of propane. Almost similar mass it will have, right? Ethyl alcohol boiling point is greater than that of the propane. Why? Because in alcohols intermolecular hydrogen bonding is present. Compared to alkanes, ethers, etc. So if you take nearly same masses of a particular alcohol compared to the ether, or alcohol compared to any hydrocarbon, or haloalkane or haloarine, basically of comparable masses if you take, alcohols will have greater boiling point relative to their alkanes. Okay, next we will talk about solubility. Next, coming to solubility, lower hydrocarbons, that is lower alcohols are completely soluble, or you can say they are more soluble in water. Example, ethanol you take or methanol you take, those are soluble in water in whatever proportion. Okay, in different proportions they are soluble, completely mixable, completely soluble. But as the alkyl groups increases, means coming to higher alcohols. Okay, higher alcohols you can say, higher alcohols. Solubility as the alkyl groups increases, okay, solubility decreases. Solubility decreases. Why it is decreases? Okay, because alkyl groups are what? Hydrophobic in nature, water repellent in nature. So lower alcohols are more soluble than higher alcohols. Okay, lower alcohols are more soluble than higher alcohols. Okay, so this is about physical properties. Now let us come to the chemical properties. Chemical properties of alcohols. Okay. Basically, alcohols are versatile compounds. Alcohols are versatile compounds. Now, what is meaning of versatile compounds means, in chemical reactions, they can act as nucleophiles as well as electrophiles. They have tendency to act as both. Alcohol can act as a nucleophile as well as, okay, can act as nucleophiles, and also as electrophiles. That's why we are calling them as versatile compounds. And when they act as nucleophiles and when they act as electrophiles, it depends upon the reactions and as well as the type of bond cleavage. Okay, type of bond cleavage. That means, let us take for the first instance, alcohols as nucleophiles. Let us take first incident, alcohols acting as nucleophiles. And when does alcohols or how they can act as nucleophiles means, in case, okay, if OH bond is broken, or if it is cleaved, I can write broken or cleaved. If OH bond is cleaved or if it is breaked, then alcohols act as nucleophiles. Example, let us take here one small example of any general alcohol. See, R, I am writing here CH2O with lone pair H. Let us assume it is going to attack on some carbocation. Okay, some carbocation we are taking. So the lone pair which is present on the oxygen, okay, oxygen with lone pairs can act as nucleophile. It can act as nucleophile. So it gives rise to, now I am writing this step here, RCH2O, okay, this oxygen atom linked to the carbon here, linked to this carbon. This carbon is containing 3 bonds like this, and one hydrogen atom like this, with now oxygen carrying the positive charge because its lone pair transferred to carbon. Now what will happen here in the next step? The bond pair of electrons are shifted to oxygen and proton is eliminated. So you get the product like this, RCH2OC, okay, plus H plus. So in this way, what is happening? Due to the lone pair present on the oxygen, it is acting as nucleophile. And in this process, which bond is breaked? OH bond is breaked. Okay, OH bond is breaked. Okay, that's why we are saying alcohols are acting as nucleophiles. In which cases? In the reactions in which OH bond gets cleaved, okay, OH bond gets breaked or broken, then alcohols act as nucleophiles. Okay, and alcohols can also act as electrophiles. They can also act as electrophiles. Okay, let us see here. Alcohols as electrophiles. Now, when does alcohols act as electrophiles means in reactions, in all those reactions where CO bond is cleaved or CO bond is breaked, okay, then alcohols act as electrophiles. For example, I am writing here RCH2OH like this, plus let us assume some proton attacks here. Okay, this lone pair I am taking, okay, here proton attacks. So I will write this reaction as RCH2 oxygen with 2 hydrogens and positive charge now. Okay. Assume that in the second step some nucleophile is attacking. Okay. That means let us take here some bromine minus bromide ion or any nucleophile you can take, basically any nucleophile. Plus I am writing now RCH2 this molecule plus. Okay. Now what will happen? This oxygen with positive is unstable. So it is eliminated along with the bonded pair of electrons. It is eliminated as water. And this nucleophile attacks on the carbon. So that means RCH2Nu with nucleophile plus water. Now what is happening here? Which bond is cleaved? CO bond is cleaved. This bond is broken. This bond is cleaved, broken, or it is breaked, right? Due to this, now I am saying whenever CO bond is cleaved, they are acting as electrophiles. Whenever OH bond is cleaved, they are acting as nucleophiles. Okay, so we continue.